Okay, we continue with the process of making this bouncing ball, and we're gonna do it using the motion graphics um, tools that Harmony has. Before we start moving the object, we need to do a few. One of them is with the layer that has our ball selected. We want to call the layer properties window, and we want to change the position from separate to 3D path. Now I can close that window. What that's going to do is going to allow the object to move more freely on the space, and it'll allow it to have to use curves for the way the program works as needed. The other thing that we need to confirm is that under our preferences, you need to go under camera, and under camera, we want to have this control point tension to -1. That way it'll be a little bit easier for us to manipulate. Nothing else there. You just have to go down to your menu option and say, okay, my screen for some reason doesn't show me the button. It's kind of hidden here in my tablet. So I'm gonna just hit enter on my keyboard so I can take that preference selection there. Okay, so I have my object is as long as my timeline. I changed my timeline. If you haven't done it, I made it to 150. And then if you haven't done it, you can right click on your object and then just down at the bottom here, there is an option for you to move this window up a lot to show you. There is an option for you to say extend exposure, and you can extend exposure for the number of frames that you want it to be. So for now, I don't have to do that because I already did it. Let me bring down my window again here. Okay. So I think I'm ready to animate, and I already have my numbers there, which are my spacing numbers based on that 25 frames per second. I kind of lower the numbers a little bit, um, and the lower numbers just to make my life easier in the counting, and also keep in mind that we're going from 25 frames to 24 frames per second. Small amount, the way that I changed it. So I'm going to start on frame one. I'm going to right click on my mouse or my pen, click on my pen. I'm going to insert a keyframe. You can also do F6. For some reason, my keyboard and my laptop doesn't take it, but I think the computer on campus should take it. So I'm going to just click on that and create a keyframe right there, which is the position for my object. And I'm going to move my object to frame 18, which is my next position for my object. I'm going to put the base of the ball right on the line. So I have my object moving in those first moments. Now I want to be able to see the movement of my object and see the path of movement. That would help me with some of the spacing. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go to View, Show, Control. That reveals the number of frames, and of course that will help me later on in manipulating my spacing a bit more precisely. Now I'm going to go, and my next number is 24 frames more, so I'm going to go from 18 to 42, and I'm going to simply holding shift on my keyboard. I'm going to move my object there. Of course, this is giving me this weird curve that I have to correct later on. Then I have to add 20 more. That means it's going to be to 62 frames that I'm going to be holding shift and moving my object there. Then I have to add 16 frames more, which makes it to 78. I think in my math is wrong. I'm not the greatest at math, but I think this time I'm doing okay. And then 12 more takes me to 78 plus 12 makes it to 90. So I'm gonna make it to 90. And I'm going to go 10 more to 100. I keep holding shift, that way my ball is always in the same spot. And then I'm going to go 8 more, 108. If you make a mistake, no worries, you can always move the keyframes. And then 6 more, that makes it to 114. And then 4 more, makes it 118. And then 2 more. And then the rest of it, I'm going to just play, say, 150. I'm going to make the ball leave the frame. So if I play it back, I'm going to bring my timeline here. If I play back, the ball roughly does that movement. It's nothing fancy yet, but it does a movement. So now we need to just insert or the keyframes for the high points. So of course my first high point is down there. So I need to go between frame 18 and frame 42. And that would be 12. So that means by frame 30, I can bring my ball up. I'm going to just try to keep it straight and then make the base hit the curve there from my guide. And then I'm going to do the same thing from frame 42 to frame 62. That means in frame 52, I can bring the ball up. You can always move it and change it if you need to. And then from 62 to 78, it'll be 8 more, so it means in frame 70. And then from 78 to 90, it'll be 6 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then from 90 to 100, it'll be 5 frames. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from 100 to 108 will be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from 108 to 114 will be 3, 1, 2, 3. And then from number 114, 1, 2, 3, what will be 2 frames. And then this one will be just 1 frame. So that way I can go back and play. And you see my ball is doing the up and down not so nicely. And then the distance, you can always change this value if you need it to be slower or faster. You can, of course, see it, but roughly I got the timing that I needed. Okay, so now let me just save my file just so that we don't lose it by any chance. When I go back to my first frame, I'm going to take a few seconds for it to save the rest. Okay, and we need to modify the way the balance is happening. And we need also to modify the spacing, because of course we need that ball to come, let me go back to the sketch here. We need the ball to go slower here, so closer, 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 and then eventually they're going to start opening those spaces so that it speeds up as it's going down, and same as it's going up, it's going to go far distance, and then it's going to just go tighter and tighter and tighter. I don't need to be counting those. I'm going to undo all those little lines because I don't need to count them. I already have those numbers there. I'm going to manipulate that information with the program. So if I click on this keyframe here, now I can go and modify the object or the way the is in and is out work by clicking on this little icon here. And that is the is parameter tool. So right now there is no is in or is out. You see that the distance between frames is equal. So I'm on that frame right now, and I'm going to modify. You see the little two arrows there that allow me to modify those. I'm going to move them outside here. I know this probably is not the right information, but I apply there. But you see how that when I move them to the left and to the right, the frames got the spacing here got tighter, and then on top it got wider. That means that it's slowing down as it's coming down, and I do not want it to go slow down. So actually I'm going to go the opposite here. I'm going to try to bring it down here, and then I go bring it up there, and I'm going to apply. And you see now how the object changed is in and is out. At the same time, it kind of tries to sharpen here. You see how the angle goes sharper. It's not that curve anymore, it's a bit sharper. So that helps me a little bit with it. I'm going to just say apply. I'm gonna close for now. And now, of course, I do not want to do this curve here. I like the spacing, but I don't like the P. Sorry, I need to click on the animation tool here. I'm gonna click on press P, because I click on the clock and just click on my P key, just one, because if you hold it, it'll add more points. And I'm gonna move this object here, and I can manipulate it a little bit better. If you can do more if you need to add more, but for now I'm just gonna do this here, and that gives me a bit more control of the curve. If I need to add another one here, I could insert another one. I'm gonna try to stick with it. The advantage of doing this, I could put a keyframe there, but the advantage of doing this is that this is a point controller that makes it is not adding more information to the curve as a keyframe, but just adding information to manipulate the is in and the is out. So if I click on this guy again, I can go back again, and you see how that changed a little bit. I can now try to apply and see how my distance, my spacing changes. Right? If I move this one longer here, you see how the distance is really, or the spacing between points is very, very dramatic. I went back, I clicked on the wrong button, I went to the previous, so you can go back and forth. I'm going to do that in a minute. I'm still tweaking on this one. I'm going to apply there, maybe a little bit less. I kind of like that better. Let me go to the previous one. I'm going to try to see if I can modify this one. Kind of changes it a little bit so it kind of compensates so it's not so long. Let me close it for now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those control points and all the sections of the curve to start manipulating a little bit better those curvatures, and that makes my life a little bit easier. So again, I'm going to click on it and then press P once, and then I'm going to just move. Let me go back to my layer here, move it a little bit, and I'm going to do the same thing here. Click P, click P, click P, click P. So, of course, you might need to go closer and closer to modify them. Oh, it went to me undo that. I go close, I'm going to go to my keyboard. And just click here and P. Then press P. This one's going to get a little bit tighter. Okay, I'm getting closer there. This one, there is nothing to do because it's there is no other frames in between. So for now, I'm gonna keep it like that. Let me zoom out again. And now I can start kind of moving those things guys back and forth a little bit. And I'm gonna compensate with the, okay. Now I'm gonna compensate, I'm gonna go back here and bring the tool one more time. The set is tool. See if I can make the window a little bit smaller so it's easier to look at. So I'm gonna go to the next, and that allows me to, again, this one, if I stand it this way, let me apply it. You see how it tightens the value there. So you're gonna have to decide how much you want it to be. I'm gonna go to the next one, and then this one, I'm gonna do the same trick as we did before. And then apply per next, and same thing. Okay. And we can always go back and fine tune this object. I cannot do it right now because I'm in the tool, but we can go back on those points, middle points. We can work always and fine tune them. Oh, it's a bit, let me go back. A bit too much. I need to start being conscious that the object is losing momentum. So that will force it to not having such a drastic hit. Okay, we're getting there. All right, closer and closer. I'm sorry. This one I did that wrong. This way. Okay. There's not much, not many frames left here in those last few bounces. So really the effect is minimal. And I'll just say close that for now. Let me save my file before it crashes. It takes a little while to save my file. All right, I'm going to try to fine tune some of these guys. Now I don't need to click P or anything. I just simply go and touch the little dot, and then I just modify it to make it work. Okay, I think we're close. Let me go back here. I'm going to just zoom out a little bit. Click on my frame here, zoom out a bit more. Always click on this guy to frame it. And click, I forgot to lock. I could lock this one that way I don't touch it anymore. All right, so now I can play back. So my time it's a lot better now. Let me play one more time. All right, so we have our initial timing. We can go and fine tune a bit more, but we have pretty decent amount of timing. So I want to stop it there, and we'll continue with the next video.